All right, so check this out. This is an all-in-one HDMI stream switcher, where basically you have your preview monitor and your video switcher inside this travel hard case. The whole thing is customizable, super easy to use, and if you're a production team on the go with a multicam shoot, this is gonna be perfect for you. So let's dive right into it because this might be a long video. I'll put time chapters down below too in case you need to skip ahead. So let's go.
Mr. Black.
By the way, welcome to the channel. My name's Danny Black. I love to share with you cool gear that comes my way, and if you're new here, don't be a stranger. I'll put links to everything down in the description. You can find it down there nice and easily. But here we go. This comes in from OSEE, and really you have three separate products. You have the video switcher that comes in around $300 US, same price as the ATM Mini Pro. It basically works the same, but the OSEE has a lot more features and functions. And we also have a 14-inch portable travel monitor that looks amazing, and it all comes configured together in this custom case that has all the ports and mounts that you need to get this thing up and running. So perfect for those production teams that need a pop-up multicam video shoot or live stream where you can broadcast it on projectors and things like that. This system can help you set up within minutes and you're ready to go. And this case is like your typical travel hard case for professional gear. It locks at the front, and if you look at the bottom, you have quarter threads and 3/8 threads for mounting to a tripod if you don't have a table handy. There's also mounts on the side so that you can mount any devices that you need to. Like think if you want the person running the show to have a camera to be talking to as well, like you can mount a camera on the side. And on the back you have an IEC power point, or on the other side there is a DC in, but also right here a 5-volt DC out in case you need to charge other devices or cameras. There's also an Ethernet out so you can plug it directly into the network and you can stream straight from this box. Then you have a USB-C out to go to your computer and use it as a video source. And below that you have another USB-C which you can bring in other devices, like even a USB webcam. So I have the Tiny 2 right here. I could plug it in that and use it as a source, which is a really awesome feature. Over here you have an HDMI output that's set to program out, but you can actually customize it to be any source or even all the windows. It's actually pretty cool how much you can customize it in the menu. And then you have a mic 2 input over here, which is great if you're like next to an audio mixer and you can come out from that and go into that input right there. Next to that, you have your 4 HDMI sources. I have 3 plugged in, as you can see, shuffling through them. And yeah, it's really easy to do. When you open the case, you can see how it's all customized just for the switcher. And there's a little prop over here to keep it from closing on you. Down here, there's a spot for an SD card where you can pop that in and not only record just your shows, but you can also load up videos and images to play back on this thing. And I'll show you how to do that later on in the video. Up here, you have another mic input. This is mic 1. And then next to that, you have a phone input. Up at the top, you'll see a power switch for the whole unit. And there's also a fan switch. And now that fan is really quiet. Like most of the time I have to like put my ear up. Is that on? It's that quiet, but it's on. And it's really good at dissipating the heat. Now, right here, you'll see this cutout with this USB cord right here, and this is actually for a power bank, so you can actually plug in a power bank and you can be powering up this whole unit all by itself, making it really travel friendly and very portable. It connects to this monitor right here. It's a 14-inch monitor. It looks great and it gives you a lot of viewing options. You have your preview, you have your program, you have your HDMI 1, 2, 3, 4. You also have your aux, which can be different things, and you have 2 still images you can choose from for backgrounds. Also down at the bottom, you can see that you have your audio meters and you also have your recording time. Also, when you press the menu, you can see clearly the menu system down there, and it's super easy to navigate. Okay, so getting to the switcher now. So there's a lot going on the switcher, as you can see. Starting at the top, there is a power button for this thing, so when you do power on the main switch, you still have to power it on here. Down below that, you see a live stream button so that you can click that and go live. You have your 4 different buttons for your different HDMI sources down here. And not just the program out, you also have the preview out as well, so you can press that to preview your shot. Next to that, you have other sources like your auxiliary source and super source, which is really cool. And we'll get to that in a second too. You also have your still 1 and still 2, so if you want to bring those up, you can just that easily by pressing the button. Next to that, you have your different transitions. You have mix, where you have like a fade, and you have a dip for dipping to color. You also have a wipe with different transitions you can select. And then you have a preview button, which is cool because you can have it on the preview screen and see what it's gonna do. And then you can make that go live after you turn the preview off. the auto button to do the transition, and the fade to black to fade to black. And then there's also a T-bar, which feels nice. It feels great, and it's really easy to use, and you can slow it down as much as you want. I love how you can just go up and down as well. Okay, looking up at the other side, you have your audio mix over here where you have your mic 1, mic 2, your 4 different HDMI input sounds, your auxiliary sound, your program out levels, and you can press on those and you can turn them on and use that control dial right here to adjust those, or you can set it on AFV. And what AFV means, it means audio follows video. So if you have like an HDMI source that has audio and you have it on AFV, that means when you cut to that, it will actually pick up the sound like you hear it doing right there. All right, so next to that, you have this like macro set of buttons here. And this is a little bit confusing, but at the same time, it's really cool. What it does is it basically records different keystrokes, if you will. So if you have like a complicated move of shots where you're going from like 1 to 2 in a transition, and maybe you're gonna play a video and maybe a couple videos, you can actually press and hold down one of these buttons and it will record, and you can do that system of shots and cuts, and then you can recall that and we'll play it through that. So maybe it's not for your average user, but there's a lot of people out there that would have to like do the same kind of like quick shots and changes, and it'd be so nice to just have it all recalled for you. Now, if we go a little bit further, you'll see that there's a record button and a stop button, and that's how you can record on your SD card, which is what I'm doing now. So you can see the preview screen. You can see all these screens here. Next to that, you have play, pause, and back and forward tracks, and that's actually for the videos that are on the SD card. So you have a little folder on that SD card where you can put video files on there. And so then you can hit play, and you can see it down at the aux. And so I haven't made the aux live, but as soon as I make it live, it'll play it for you. Down below that, you have your chroma key and color key, where if you have like a green screen or something that you want to key out behind you, you can do that and customize that. You also have the DSK button and the background button, which we'll get into here while we jump into the menu, because that's a beast in itself right here. Ready? Check this out. Press menu. And you can see, I love that it shows up on the screen. It's super easy with this dial and button right here to navigate. You can hit the menu to go back a level. So starting from the top, let's just have a look. You have your color back, and you can go through that and you can change the hue. You can make it blue, you can make it red, whatever you want. Over here you have Super Source, and this is where you can have like a picture-in-picture and fully customize that how you want. So if we hit the Super Source, you can see now we have a picture-in-picture right there. And we have that purple background because we picked that color 1. And then you can also go into control. You can have different styles. This is zoom in, this is crop zoom, if you want it more like that, and then crop zoom the other way. And then just both cropped in. So like you can mask them down, make it a nice little tight box. You can have different borders, like this one has a border on it. Down over at key type, you can change the key right here to be the chroma key or the luma key or a pattern or picture-in-picture. And then the still generator is where you're gonna select photos, so you can put PNG photos on that SD card. There's an images section. Down below that, you have the macro, and you can actually import some and export them as well. All right, so below the macro, this is where you get your stream, where you can add your different stream keys and RTMP URLs, and you can get up to 3 of them, so you can switch between them really easily. With Playback, this is great because you can go through and the videos that you're playing, you can play once, or you could set it as a loop and repeat itself, or you can set it to go in sequential order. So if you had a bunch of video files on the SD card, you can go from like 1, 2, 3, whatever. It just plays from one to the next. That is a nice option. Then you have your settings where you can go through and you can change all the different source names. If you didn't like HDMI 1 or 2, you can change it to like, you know, main camera or guest or GoPro or whatever you want to call. You can output up to 1080p 60 frames per second. And I love the out source on here. This is really cool. So with your HDMI output, you can set it to be the program out, or you can even select like all of the windows, or you can select it to be just the preview or any one of the HDMI sources, or you can set that for your streaming or recording. I have this on multi-view now so that you can see all of these angles right now. And I could set that, even while I'm recording, I could set that to just a program out. Watch, check this out. So I could set this to program out. And so now you're just gonna see the program out. When you get to your SRC selection here, this is where you can get to your auxiliary and you can change it to go to your webcam. So now I can use the webcam as a source instead of your auxiliary, your SD card with the video files. So if you didn't want those video files and you wanted to use that webcam as a source, that's how you do it. And yeah, that's basically it. And the whole thing comes in around $900 US, and that might be a lot to the average person, but really if you have professional shoots, if you want to impress clients, you take this thing out, instead of having wires everywhere, you're ready to go within like 5 minutes. They're going to be impressed, and it's just going to make your life a lot easier and just more efficient. So kudos to you, OSEE. And also, if anybody's still watching at this point, thank you so much for being here. There's a lot more cool gear coming to this channel, so make sure you stay tuned. And yeah, see you next time. Bye.
Can we call you Uncle Blackie?
No.